Baie goeiemôre, good morning, Molweni, namaste, shalom. It is now Friday, 3 minutes to 10, 3 minute voor 10, so ek kom maar nou op, sodat ons mense kan net laat weet, ons is hierso. Vandag 'n bietjie uit my huis uit, laas Vrydag was ons 'n bietjie daar in 'n mooi hotel area daar in die Somerset Wesberge. Maar vandag is ons hier so by kantoor. So we're speaking to you from a chilly Cape Town, but a beautiful South Africa. Good morning everybody, Denise, good morning. So kom ons net op, if you can share and like. This session will be a very interesting one, a couple of bombs again that need to be dropped, truth bombs, not physical bombs. Ons gaan 'n bietjie reguit weer praat oor baie interessante goed van die waarheid. Wat baie belangrik is. We are going to again have a session this morning, Friday, every Friday, 10 o'clock, Straight Talk with Neil de Beer and the UIM. A political movement and party that brings you the truth, even if it hurts. And that's important, that's belangrik. It's very important that we speak to each other about leadership in truth. We mustn't get upset, and I know I do, and we mustn't make statements that we can't back. And spread dreams that are not realistic. Ons moet ophou om kasteeltjies te bou, ons moet die realiteit nou kry, dat ons waarlik in hierdie land op 'n punt is waar die waarheid moet uitkom. And that's what I do, without fear of favor, because you expected that and do expect this always from the UIM. That when we make mistakes, we apologize, we declare the mistake, we fix the mistake. That when we say we're going to do X, that it doesn't turn into Y and that it ends up into Z. Ons moet alles wat ons beloof, alles wat ons sê, al ons taal van beloftes moet ons nakom, en as ons dit nie doen nie, moet ons verduidelik vir die mense. That is actually all that a politician needs to do. He just needs to tell the truth. And that's difficult. So this morning we're waiting for 200, and before I can even speak and get going, it's exactly 10 o'clock and exactly 200 people right now. So daar sê, well done, baie dankie. Ek weet ons wag nou vir die waarheid. So ek gaan maar weer 'n paar klein interne bommetjies op politiek laat val. Hierdie gesprek 10:00 op 'n Vrydag, this discussion 10 o'clock, and I know I've been asked to majority speak English because it goes to an international market. I understand, maar dit is daarom lekker om 'n bietjie Afrikaans ook vir ons mense in te gooi, so ek dink dit gaan ophou nie. So I will do a lot of talk in English, I've been asked to. Maar ek kan maar 'n bietjie my taal ook ingooi, want dit is belangrik. Dit is 'n mooi taal. Afrikaans, as jy hom kan praat, dit kom so diep. Hy trek sommer in die poepenjors, trek hy so deur die maag, kom hy deur die longe, kom hy deur jou stem, en dan vloei hy oor jou lippe. En daar's baie min tale in die wêreld wat so mooi en so direk is soos Afrikaans. So ek gaan hom 'n paar keer insmokkel, want ek is 'n Afrikaner. South Africa today, we're speaking about some interesting topics. The week that has been, let's quickly summarize, and then I'll get to my topics. Spread this video. My last video of last week Friday was viewed by 47,000 people. A record to us, and it was forwarded by people like you and shared more than 11,000 times. So this is great. It seems the people want the truth. Hulle is dors vir die waarheid. Now, unlike this week, where we again had the absolute idiot of a Frikkie Malema. I'll start with him, laat ek hom net kan klaarmaak. standing on a podium, and as always, getting away with it. Getting away with hate speech, getting away with a call for the annihilation of a very specific race, and that's the white race, which he has now decided is his enemy. Ons het hierdie week weer gesien videogrepe van Frikkie Julius die idioot Malema, 'n slinkse mens wat van 'n podium weer praat oor die moord en die toekoms van die blanke in hierdie land. En ek is een. Nou ek wil gou klaar praat oor hierdie man. Ek wil gou klaar praat met hierdie Hans Worsie. Hierdie Roy Jellytot. I have asked you to debate me. I have asked you to meet me. I challenged you at Brackenfell. And you've never come. You won't come. You will never meet me. Because here's your problem. Number one, you can't call me a racist because I fought for the freedom for 32 years of the people that had no democracy. So you can't say racist. So daar's jy binne jou moer. You just can't. I've got a struggle credential with Mandela. So daar's jy moer toe. You can't pull that trick like you can with other white people in this country. Okay? So daar's jy moer toe, Malema. Number two, you can't talk to me about white minority capital. I was part of the draft and the segment of describing what it is within the ANC. So daar, number 2, moer toe. So you can't call me a racist. It's just not possible because of my history. And number 2, you can't debate white minority capital with me. So the only thing that you've got left with me, young child, is economic debate. For 6 years, I was the president, that's correct, of an international fund. And I traveled the world and stayed across the world. So bring on your economic debate. So Mr. Malema, you won't face me because of the fourth thing, and that is I'm honorable. And I'm in God. So kom ek en jy maak nou klaar. There is a clear, on record, defense of this man. Ek weet, want ek het gesê ek gaan hom arresteer, ek gaan 'n siviele arrestasie doen en die polisie het geweier. Ja, hulle het geweier om die dokke te vat. En ek is toe gewys, I was shown on record, hier kom die waarheid, that the then National Commissioner's Office wrote a letter to every police station. It's in evidence. They can't withdraw it. It's there. That no police station at that stage could take a criminal charge against Julius Malema. Black on white. Hoor julle my? Ek het dit gesien want ek wou hom laat arresteer. Toe sê die stasiekommissaris vir my van daai polisiestasie waar ek die klag wou inlê. Hulle kan nie. Waarheid, hoor? So as ons as mense, if we as people can't even charge a man for hate speech, firing a weapon in public without a license, contravening various municipal bylaws, assault common on a police colonel, and calling for genocide, then this man, I am sorry, and I'm waiting for counter evidence. This man is protected by some people. Why? Kom ons praat die waarheid. I'll tell you why. And it's my opinion. It's because the ANC and the EFF are partners. Hulle speel met ons, man. Hoor my. Jellytot en Ramanana. Julle is boeties. En hoor my, as die ANC in 2024 onder 50 kry, dan smelt daai twee weses, daai twee kabal, daai twee donker wolke, dan smelt hulle saam en dan is hulle weer in beheer. Dit is my voorspelling en dit is wat ek sê is die waarheid. Ek het intelligensie tot daai punt. En ek praat nie van IK nie, inligting. Ons moet ophou nonsens praat. Ons moet die waarheid praat. Ons mor met die waarheid oor daai toekoms. Dis die waarheid. En met die EFF en met die ANC se leierskap, with those two cabal, they've added a couple of smaller parties, and you know who you are, that have suddenly changed their allegiances to sell out to the people and purchase power. It's going to be a very interesting time that we can show up the traitors now of our state. To the people, the sellouts. Dis die waarheid. En dit moet eindig. U sien as ons nie opstaan teen hom nie, as AfriForum nie daai appelsaak wen nie, dan bly haatspraak. We should support that case with everything South Africa we've got. Not just whites. Because who's next? The colored population. The Indian population. The minorities. Who's next under the attack? So this dark cloud is coming and we must be the light in God. You're sorry. Ons moet die ligvakkels aansteek. Ons moet wakker raak, Suid-Afrika. 'n Verskriklike balaklava word oor ons oë getrek. Politics, money. My first subject today is follow the money. Watch who supports whom financially and who gives money to what political party. Very interesting. And it's very interesting, dis vir my baie interessant, that certain political parties do not declare, according to the IEC law, who's giving them money. There's a law. But like any other law in this country, it's been thrown to the pigs. Because we've become a lawless society and no one cares about the law. When you get a court interdict, when you get a court judgment, no one cares. Niemand gee om nie. We have become a country where the political system is run by courts, not parliament anymore. Can you imagine? As jy iets wil gedoen in hierdie land wat geregtig is, dan moet jy hof toe gaan. Daai besluite word nie meer gemaak in die parlement nie. Afskuwelik. 'n Parlement wat afgebrand het. En ons kan dit nie eens bekostig om reg te maak nie. Skokkend. So Suid-Afrika, ons moet 'n bietjie kyk, 'n bietjie nader kyk aan wie gee vir wie geld. Ek sien die ander dag, daar's 'n man met die naam van Rob Hirschhoff wat verskriklik uitvaar. Speaks a lot of the removal of Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC, and declares himself to be a billionaire. And declares that he gave money to the ANC and several other political parties. Now that's interesting, but not surprising. You see the top guys in this country, they do what we call political financial hedging. Julle nou mooi hoor, ek gee vir julle die inligting. Die topmense in hierdie land, die topmaatskappye en die topbesigheidsmanne, blank en swart, hulle gee vir alle partye geld. Tot die EFF. Volg die geld. Jy sien wat hulle doen is, hulle gee 1 miljoen. Praat die waarheid. Né? Om die waarheid te hê. Dis wat om julle gebeur. Hulle vat R1 miljoen byvoorbeeld en dan gee hulle 500,000 vir die ANC, net om seker te maak dat hulle gecover is. Hulle gee dit aan die party, hulle gee dit aan die president, hulle gee dit aan die individu van die ANC. Hulle het. Ek weet hulle het. En dan wat hulle doen is hulle van die ander 500,000, they take the other 500,000 of the million, and then they give it to selective other, smaller political parties in the opposition. That's what they do. 250,000 there, 100,000 there, 50,000 there. They spread their bets. That's what they do. En dis feite. Julle kan dit gaan sien. Now, if that's clever business, who knows? Of dit nou slim besigheid is, ek weet nie. Maar dis 'n feit. Dis deel van die stelsel. En dit moet einde kry. Julle is besig om die hyena aan mekaar te voer. En terwyl ons hierdie hedging van politieke geld mee aanhou, die 20 en die 30 en die 40 miljoene wat uitgaan om jou bas te red, al is dit deel van 'n stelsel, dit is verkeerd. Want solank julle die ANC en onder die tafel die EFF en hulle kabal geld gee sodat jy gecover is jy ook skuldig vir die vervrotting en verwoesting van hierdie land. Kom ons praat die waarheid. While you fund every month the ANC, the EFF, the SACP, COSATU, and some other surprisingly new partners that joined the ANC conclave. Don't you understand what you are doing? You are funding the people that are destroying our country. Now, you can't stop paying taxes because that is the law. But you can stop funding political parties that have given up the fight and that are fighting against us, the people. Doesn't that make sense? Don't you get it? Jy sit petrol in die kar van 'n bankrower, man. Dis wat jy doen. En as ons jou uitvang, dan sê jy, ek het nie geweet die kar gaan gebruik word vir 'n bankroof nie. Absolute stront. 5 van hulle sit in 'n kar met balaklavas en akkas. What the hell do you think they were going to do? Go to a kindergarten show? Please expose those people funding those parties that are killing us. And then maybe, without money, we will have victory. And please fund people that are fighting for you. So follow the money, South Africa. Volg die geld. En as jy daai mense kry en jy volg daai geld, dan gaan jy uitvind waar mense se patriotisme en waar hulle hart lê. Ons het nie meer tyd nie. We don't have time anymore. We are in a fight. So follow the money. Then I want to tell you about something that's very interesting. Global power. Hier kom nog 'n bommetjie. Internasionale mag oor ons klein landjie. If you've never known this, let me educate you quickly because I was part of that system. I know that system. This country, at times, have no say about our future. We are naive to think that sometimes that the ANC makes up its own mind about who must lead and who not. Now, if you know global politics like I do, and I've been in it for 32 years of governmental power and global economy and global politics and diplomacy, I want to stop there quickly. If you are a leader in this country and you're sitting there and screaming and shouting, and just because you've got money, you think that you're a leader. Leadership in politics, unfortunately, Mr. Malema, Mr. Ramaphosa, does not just take money and power. It takes the anointment of God. It takes faith, love, compassion, diplomacy, and years of global networking. So when I say, I think I can lead a country, it's because I've led a continent on certain ways. I've got diplomacy, the network, the contact, the global experience, the understanding of powers and economy. So net om te staan en skree, geld rond te wapper, verskriklike speeches te maak nie van jou 'n politieke leier of 'n persoon wat president kan wees van 'n land nie. It takes much more than that. And there's one thing that presidents and leaders in the world acknowledge, because the best presidents and leaders in the world were humble. You see, humble. As jy nederig is, as jy soos ek vanoggend in 'n koffiewinkel kan instap en binne 5 minute is daar 30 mense wat hallo vir jou sê en vir jou bid. Raak jy nederig, dan wil ek uitsluit want dis te veel. You don't ask to be a president of a country. You are chosen. So where does our current instruction come? Waar kom ons vandag? Well, I'll tell you. It's a fight between the West and the East to control us. Yeah. So like in the old days of the colonies, then it's Spain, then it's Portugal, then it's Netherlands, then it's Britain. They decided who controls the destiny of that country. So when we were under Portuguese rule with Da Gama and the people, Bartolomeu Dias, that landed here, they brought a Portuguese influence and control. When the Dutch arrived here, 1652, they brought a Dutch power and technology here. And when Queen Victoria and Britain invaded South Africa, they brought a British ideology here. Dis net drie mense, 3 lande, 3 magte wat ons hele toekoms vir ons uitgeleid het. They forced their destiny. Do you think it stopped, South Africa? Please, man. It's never stopped. The only difference is they didn't come here with boats and guns. They brought their checkbooks. So the war, the colonization of the Republic of South Africa is no more landing on the shore and invading us. It's simple now. It's a handshake and a check. We are being colonized. We are being manhandled every single time a new president gets chosen in this country. That's a fact. That's not a lie. Listen to me. I know. What do you think BRICS was? BRICS was bought in by Zuma, because Zuma had traditional history with all the communistic regimes in the world. He was trained by them. Jacob Zuma was opgelei deur die kommunistiese kabaal in die wêreld. Weet julle dit nie? So toe hy president raak, het hy onmiddellik vir die Weste gesê, Amerika, Frankryk, Duitsland, Brittanje, hy het vir hulle gesê, "Vlieg in julle moer." Ja, hy het. Ek weet hy het. En wat hy toe doen, hy stig toe BRICS. Mense, hier kom bomme, hoor my. Hy het toe BRICS gestig. Brazil, Russia, India, China. That's what BRICS is. BRICS Bank. The BRICS Council. He established it. En toe vat hy ons ekonomie, he took our economy, and he said, the hell with the West, we are now going to the East. And he brought 3 massive economic powers to this country. Russia, India, and China. And he said to them, ja, it was daar, he said to them, here's the South African economy, here are the riches and the resources of the Republic, take it, but give us money. That's what happened. Dis wat gebeur het. Dis hoekom hy in Rusland was. Dis hoekom jy Indië, dis hoekom China so belangrik in die Zuma-era was. Want hy wou ons ekonomie aan die ooste oorhandig. En toe kom Ramaphosa. En Ramaphosa maak toe vir BRICS dood. Want hy het weer die ekonomie oorhandig aan die Weste. Hierdie arme land van ons is so de mekaar soos 'n verkleermannetjie in 'n tumbledraaier. Ons weet nie meer wie besit ons nie, maar julle moet baie mooi vir my hoor. You must please listen to me about the truth. And the truth is, global powers are playing here. And we are not in control if we are under the West or the East. It depends on who is selling to the highest bidder. Mense, dit is 'n plofbare goed wat ek vir julle vertel. Dit is 'n feit. Maar jy kan dit sien. Now that I'm telling you this, now you can read the news and you can see whom visits whom. Where does the president go? Well, I don't see Cyril every day in China. I don't see Cyril every day in India or visiting Putin. I see him visiting the United Kingdom and America. I leave that for you to think. What has happened in this country is that corruption has now become part of the system. And therefore, we now have something in this country called systemic corruption. Korrupsie het nou deel van die sisteem geraak. Dit is nou sistematies in ons sisteem ingegrawe. Okay? Skokkend. So before corruption became systemic in our system, it was something separate. Let me give you an example to tell you why it's the truth. En jy gaan saam met my stem. Jy weet dit klaar, ek sê dit net. Ontplofbaar. As jy gegaan het om jou karlisensie te verander, nê, dan het jy ingegaan, jy het jou karlisensie betaal, en as jy het vinniger betaal wil hê, en jy het 'n kontak, dan gee jy 'n ekstra R100. Met alles wat jy wou gedoen hê, met alle kontakte, het jy dit betaal, en dan het jy jou ekstra geldjie onder die tafel betaal. Dit was gesien as korrupsie. Met ander woorde, 2 sisteme. Die normale sisteem en 'n bietjie ekstra. That's what you did. Not all of you, but a lot of you. Ons betaal omdat ons vinnig diens wil hê. Wow. You get pulled over, the traffic cop gives you a fine, and then you say to him, I'll pay the fine, and here's for you a Coca-Cola. That was extra. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. There's now not even a debate and a discussion about paying an extra. It's now together. It's acceptable. It's part of the system. So, government officials, not all of them, be careful, not all of them, have now decided that to give you service, which they are paid to do, they need the systemic corruption to be done. Dit is 'n verskriklike ding, dat ons nie meer die systeem kan skei van die verkeerd nie. Ons kan nie meer nie. Ons oorhandig nou outomaties daai geld. Jou karlisensie, jou learners, die hernuwing, die verkose betaling van boetes, het nou een geword. Stry met my? Jy kan nie. Jy kan nie meer met my stry nie. And once corruption is entrenched and part of the system, dan is ons moer toe. Then we don't only have to remove the governing party, but we have to change the system. And the longer that we are fighting, the longer we don't get to the renewal of this country, hoe langer dit vir ons vat om hierdie kabal uit te stem, hoe meer raak daai deel van die sisteem. Hoe meer sprei daai kanker in die liggaam van ons staat in. Ek ken kanker. Kanker moet jy vinnig vasvat en jy moet hom uitsny. En as dit nie werk nie, dan moet jy chemo en alle dinge doen in jou lewe om daai kanker uit te wis uit jou bloed uit. And there's no difference between that analogy and the government that we've got today. Andrei, dis mense soos jy, wat nie vir die afgelope 2 jaar jammer vir ons volg in die strate, waar ons bulletproofs gedra het en 2 jaar die grond gestap het, as die UIM met CRU nie. Andrei, jy het ons definitief nie gevolg toe ons vir 1 jaar en 'n half elke week amper 5000 mense kos gegee het in die Weskaap en oor hierdie land nie. Andrei, jy was nie daar toe ons die mense gevat het parlement toe om seker te maak dat jy 'n vuurwapen kan dra nie. Andrei, jy was nie daar toe ons met boere in die Boland gaan praat het en saam met hulle verdedigingspatrone ontwikkel het nie. Andrei, jy was nie daar toe ons een vir een gaan kyk het na die moorde in die Cape Flats en die areas waar ons dien nie. Andrei, jy was nie daar toe ons op 'n vliegtuig klim, toe Durban, Phoenix en Chatsworth brand en ons met hulle gestaan het nie. Andrei, moenie vir my sê praat nie, meneer. Jy is naïef. Jy het nie 'n idee wat die UIM en hierdie leierskap op die grond gedoen het nie. So ek vra vir jou, onttrek jouself van hierdie platform of kom tot op speed. Die UIM praat nie net nie. Die UIM gee alles wat ons het. Miskien moet jy, Andrei, jou bib aantrek en begin beklei saam met ons, in plaas van hier op ons platform te kom en te sê dat ons propaganda uitspieg. Jy is verkeerd en jy maak my net dit dondering. Hoekom? Want daar's baie van ons wat beklei hier, wat ons lewens op die tafel sit, Andrei Jansen, wat bereid is om tronk toe te gaan vir die waarheid en wat met leiwagte moet rondloop want hulle het al 2 keer probeer om my stil te maak, Andrei Jansen. So miskien moet jy lewe en ruggraat kry en voordat jy hier kom spieg op 'n platform met 'n leier wat sy lewe gee al is hy siek, dan moet jy asseblief om vergifnis vra vir die gemors wat jy hier kom praat en ek hou nie van 'n oningeligte papbek nie. Jammer, jy maak my demoeren namens elke UIM lid wat nou sy lewe moet gee om jou lewe beter te maak. Kry 'n ruggraat en kry inligting, maar moenie op my platform kom en sê ek strooi propaganda nie. As dit vir jou propaganda is dit reg so. Dan moet jy nou gaan na die Vryheidsfront toe, of na mense wat elke dag jelly tots opstaan en sê, Madam Speaker, maar is nie bereid om te beklei nie. Daar het ek nou onbeskof geraak, jy moet weggaan. We are busy here with serious business. We are busy with life-threatening business. In die Bybel staan daar toe ek 'n kind was, Andrei Jansen, het ek dinge gedoen van 'n kind. Maar God se woord sê toe ek nie meer 'n kind was nie en ek is 'n man, het ek nie meer tyd vir dinge van 'n kind nie. Raak groot man. Ja, net vat jouself gemoer. South Africa, we are doing political recycling. So I've now addressed political money, the truth. I've addressed global powers, hoe beklei hulle oor ons en hoe hulle checks skryf. Ek het vir julle vertel van hoe korrupsie sistemies is, hoe dit nou deel is, how it is now part of the system. And now I want to talk to you about political recycling. South Africa, we are recycling old politicians. They are just in other parties and they are becoming something new, but they're not. It's the same people. It's the same 400 members of parliament that have been sitting on their backsides for 30 years, and because they now see there is a change in political condition, they leave and open parties and then want to now recycle themselves, hoping that they can still be in that seat and the gravy train. Don't you get it? Dit is wat hulle doen. Hulle recycle hulle self. Nou my vraag is, wat gaan jy anders te doen? Jy sien, ek kan dit sê. I can say it because I've never been a politician. I've never been in council. I've never been in parliament as a member. I'm new. So I've got the right to say I'm new. I've got a fresh approach. Ek het 'n nuwe vas idee. Ek wil dit en dit doen. Want ek het nie die kans gehad in die afgelope 30 jaar om dit te doen nie. Maar die ander manne wat inkom, wat op hierdie oomblik 'n ander ding en 'n nuwe gesig en 'n nuwe blommetjie. Dis tyd vir vernuwing. Dis tyd dat mense soos ek en jy wat normaal is, wat besighede het, wat in die ekonomie was, Andrei, wat geveg het vir die land, maak nie saak wat 'n kant nie. Dis tyd dat ons ook nou 'n kans kry. Ek wil my bek gaan rek in die parlement, want ek gaan die waarheid maak, ek gaan hulle seermaak. Maar dis my tyd. So as ek opstaan en ek sien al hierdie politieke partye, dan het ek een vraag. Julle recycle mekaar. Wat het julle gedoen? Dan kom vra mense op hierdie platform, wat het ons gedoen? Ons het met geen geld, amper 0, net met God se genade en julle wat die waarheid soek, het ons gewen. Ons het goed gedoen. Ons het die visse en die brood gebreek, man. Ek weet nie hoe ons dit gedoen het nie. Maar ons het. Ek is trots op ons. Ek is trots op die UIM. Op almal. En stadig groei ons. Dag vir dag. Nie met geld nie, nie met mag nie, nie met schemes en met skemas nie. Net met die waarheid en met daad. Hierdie Saterdag, die hele Saterdag is ek uit op die straat, Andrei. Môre is ek die hele dag in die strate om met die mense te gaan praat en saam met hulle te werk. Ek is 'n stadsaal president. Ek wil 'n stadsaal leier wees en al word ek nie president nie. Ek wil julle kom ontmoet, wil julle hande skud en ek wil vir julle 'n druk gee. Want ek is lief vir my mense. Ek weet nie hoe lank die Here my sal spaar nie. Maar hoor my mooi, Andre Jansen. Jy moet my begrawe en doodmaak. Om my liefde, my passie vir Suid-Afrika weg te vat, al het ek foute gemaak. Kyk na hierdie passiewe, mooi, diep blou oë. Ek wil beklei vir julle. En daai wat saam met my wil gaan, saam met ons wil gaan, kom. Wat het julle om te verloor? What have you got to lose? Look what you've got. Promises, a floundering, collapsing opposition, and a nonsensical buyout of old politicians recycling themselves. BEE, Black Economic Empowerment. And when they didn't get that right, and they only made a couple of black people rich, like Patrice, Cyril, that kind of people, Tokyo Sequoia, that became billionaires. They decided they're going to be in trouble if they don't look after the masses, and they remade a new law. That's right, they just added a B and called it broad-based black economic empowerment. Daar barst die bom. Hoor my? They made a mistake, the ANC, and they tried to rectify it by just adding another B to satisfy the masses that they could not perform and bring them to get out of the slums and out of poverty. Hulle het vir ons nonsens verkoop. Want hulle het net 'n ekstra B bygesit. Now hear me well. The fact that no one in this country that have access to legal power, that have access to money, and who knows what I am telling you today, that you have not taken this to the Equality Court and that you haven't taken this to the Constitutional Court, blows my mind. UIM don't have the money. Because the people don't want to give us money because they know we're talking the truth. And irrespective of having money like the DA and the UDM and the AFM and the Freedom Front, and they know that we speak the truth. So help me God. BEE is reverse racism in economy. Don't you get it? It's unconstitutional. It must be. But I need to get to court to scrap that law. Ons moet daai ding hof toe vat. Ek is jammer, in Suid-Afrika lyk my, jy moet alles hof toe vat, hof toe. Maar ons moet. Black economic empowerment also, I'm sorry, disadvantages the colored and Indian population in this country. Yeah. So if you're a colored individual that's an entrepreneur, kom ons praat die waarheid, you are not BEE. Hulle moer jou. Want hulle sê jy's te wit. I'm not even talking about the Indian population that are South African citizens that don't get that advantage. So BEE only favors one race. It lies. Well, the UIM has asked for NEE. NEA. We've asked for national economic empowerment. Black, white, colored, Indian, doesn't matter. We've got to give our future youth that chance to economically benefit our country. Don't you get it? It failed. Okay. Ek was 'n absolute voorstander in 1994. Ek sê dit vir jou. Dat ons die populasie, die meerderheid populasie van hierdie land 'n kans gee om van arm tot middelklas toe te beweeg. That was the plan, South Africa. That was the ideology, was to get the population, the majority black population of this country, to get them out of the depth of poverty and at least get them into the middle class. We failed. BEE became something to benefit the people. Dis gemors. It failed, okay? Admit it. Suid-Afrika, ons wil dit nou maar op die tafel sit en ons moet maar ons pyne vat. BEE werk nie. Okay, it's a failure. We must fight it. When? When are the leadership in this country going to get up and say, whoa, it's a failed experiment? Sounds familiar? It failed. I can tell you that. For an alcoholic to get help, he's got to admit he's an alcoholic. For a drug person that is under the influence of narcotics, to get help, you've got to first say, I've got a problem. I'm a drug user. I'm a drug addict. For this country to realize that this country has potential on all racial aspects, on all people, we've got to admit we failed. I'm sorry, BEE is endemically racist. And in this country, surely, it can't be constitutional. We've got to scrap it. And we've got to replace it with an initiative that allows anybody in this country, no matter your racial creed, that you get help, that you get economically empowered. I'm going to now also tell you, and we're going to log off now. Yesterday I called that national service must be reinstated in this country. Boom! Jo! Mense dink ek is mal. Ek is nie. Suid-Afrika, dis tyd dat ons nasionale diensplig in hierdie land terugbring. Van die jong mense, nie almal nie, maar die jong mense in hierdie land het nie meer respek nie. Hulle het nie meer dissipline nie. Hulle het nie meer die agting wat ons gehad het in ons land nie. I'm sorry, the UIM is calling for the reinstatement of a minimum of 1 year of national service to your country when you leave school. Why? Well, I did it. And most of the people over the age of 50 that are white, believe it or not, spent a year or 2 years like I did, doing military national service. Now maybe, instead of paying SASSA grants, having unemployment, and absolutely a lack of skills development, maybe it's time that we bring back national service to your country. So the idea will be that when you leave school, you give 1 year of your life to your country. Because then maybe you'll get a backbone. Miskien sal jy dan 'n ruggraat kry, jong man, jong vrou. And I'm not talking about doing army. I'm talking national service like the doctors have to do 1 year. Now, why can't a person that wants to study to become attorney, why can you not do a year national service at the Department of Justice? If you want to become a mechanic, why can't you serve in public works? But you'll have to go to a national camp where you share a dorm, where 30 people stay in a dormitory, waar julle maar moet beker, julle kulture maar moet geleer ken, where Wusi, Yapi must stay together, and work together in discipline, want jy gaan in die oggend opstaan en jy gaan oefen. Jy gaan jou breakfast kry en dan gaan werk jy vir God se aansig, jy gaan 'n middagete kry en in die middag gaan jy maar weer oefen en jy gaan werk en jy gaan bydra en jy gaan seker maak dat ons land vir jou kan laat verstaan wat is patriotisme. Miskien dan gaan jy ophou kla. Miskien dan sal jy geuniformd raak en sal jy verstaan wat is diens tot jou nasie. En miskien as 30 manne in een bungalow slaap en dit is kleerling Indiër, wit en blank, miskien sort ons nou eens en vir altyd hierdie rassistiese genekery van ras. Want daar gaan jy gebreek word, daar gaan jy verstaan as jy nie saamwerk nie, as jy nie eenheid het nie, kry jy nie take verrig nie. And maybe it's not a bad thing that we bring in what we call discipline. Nou word daar vir my gesê ek is militaristies. I was told yesterday when I let this go in public that I'm very militarized. That my speeches are very inclined to military. I come from there. And maybe it's because we don't have military discipline from young, that this country has people lying on the streets and uneducated. Just my opinion. So if you're 18, you go to do national service, and by the way, we are not the only country that does that. Europe does it. Israel does it. It's mandatory. I want you to support this, because some of us already did it. And that's why we're passionate about our country. We gave 2 years to this country in the past. So ek dink nie dis 'n verskriklike ding nie. Ek dink dis 'n goeie ding. Dis wat ek dink. Then I want to quickly acknowledge the passing away last week of a dad, a mentor, a brother, a friend, a community leader, and a man of God. A man that when I decided 2 years that I'd like to repent, that I would like to tell what my sins are, and that I would like to walk in the light. And did so. I went to his house. He prayed for me. He gave me the salve, the oil. And whenever I needed him in the past years, even when I was in hospital, fighting for my life, he who was ill himself came to pray for me. I want to acknowledge the passing away of Graham Power. Graham was everything in my life, and to so many. To him, God now has another angel. To Lauren, his wife, Gary, his son, and his children, you have a great memory of a great man. 'n Groot boom het geval. En ek erken Graham Power vir alles wat hy gedoen het in my lewe. En ek kan nie my woord gee. Ek gaan nie 'n ander pad vat nie. Die pad van die Here is lekker. Ek is nie 'n groot Bybelpanser nie. Ek praat nie elke dag van God en die Here nie, ek hoef nie. Want in my dade lê die bewyse. En dit is my boodskap aan u vandag. Moenie sê jy is 'n kind van God nie. Moenie elke derde keer vir mense vertel hoe jy dit en wat jy dit en hoekom jy dit nie. Lewe in God. Live it. Want die manier hoe jy met mense praat, die manier hoe jy met mense werk, die manier hoe jy ander aanspreek en veral jou ouere en jou meerdere, dit wys vir mense, jy's 'n seun of 'n dogter van God. Ek hoop ek het vandag vir u weer die waarheid vertel. Sprei hierdie video's, dat ons vir mense kan vertel van geld, korrupsie, en die redes hoekom sekere goed gebeur in ons land. Ek sien uit na volgende Vrydag weer met 5 nuwe waarhede. Suid-Afrika moenie net glo nie. Doen dit. André, as ek jou 'n bietjie geneek het vandag verbaal, ek bedoel nie dit nie. Maar partymal het ons maar die lat en die rotang nodig. Want miskien het jy nie die inligting wat jy moet hê nie. So my verskoning, ek dink ek raak 'n bietjie sensitief. Maar ek mag maar. Want ek is passievol oor my lewe. Maar vloek, krietaal, onder die broektaal, laster, malraak, leens. Ek gaan nie daai kant toe nie. Dit is baie maklik om te vloek. Dit is baie maklik om oneerbaar te wees en dit is baie maklik om God se naam te gebruik. Maar ek gaan nie. Want ek wil 'n leier wees. Ek wil 'n trotse leier wees, nie vir my nie. Maar ek wil hê julle moet trots wees om 'n UIM lid te wees. So dit is my dag. Volgende week is 'n groot week. Ek is ons groot council meeting, ons raadsvergadering. Fatima beklei daar in Johannesburg vir julle. Jayveld elke dag in eThekwini. Dames en here, ons moet saam staan. Ons het 16 maande, nie volgens die kalender nie, maar volgens politieke kalender, het ons 16 maande oor, dat ons die UIM in parlement kan kry. Help ons, asseblief. And then may God bless you, this weekend. Baie van die mense gaan hierdie naweek werk. Ek dink aan ons geuniformde lede, van medies tot polisie. En self die mense wat die rakke pak in ons winkels. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for every Friday inspiring me, making me energetic, en vir die boodskappe op Facebook, baie dankie. Ek waardeer dit. Aan al ons spanne wat vandag hierso is, ek is lief vir julle. And remember, South Africa first. Come on, South Africa first, but God number 1. Onthou Suid-Afrika eerste, maar God nommer 1. Ek is lief vir julle, ek waardeer julle. Kom ons sprei hierdie video. Weer is lank, maar kom ons forward hom. Kom ons steek 47,000 views verby en ons bou die UIM. Baie dankie vir julle tyd. Steek hy braaivuur op. Maak seker ons is tradisioneel patrioties en staan saam. God bless you. Bye-bye.